ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video, which is it's not going to feature a lot of gameplay today. This is me talking about an issue that's happened very recently to me concerning this game, Hunter Call of the Wild. This game's been out for quite a few years. I'll put that out left right. If you're not familiar with this game, it's been out for quite a few years. It's if you like, a sequel to the Hunter Classic, which is a very good hunting simulator game on PC, which is more of a hardcore simulation, definitely more multiplayer focused and competitive in terms of score. They actually have competitions and things like that in their game, where you can actually win real prizes and items for your players and characters. Hunter Call of the Wild is a completely different game design, game model, and everything. This game was designed more for specifically console players to start with, because console players never got Hunter Classic. So it's a bit more of a run and gun game. It's also very much a single player game. There is a multiplayer element where you can play with your friends. You can create a session and invite your friends into the game and you can play. But there's no competitive element to it. No one's winning the game. No one's getting any advantages in these competitions. Nobody's winning any real prizes or anything like that. The game is... It's purely for fun. It's primarily a single player game for an individual to experience and have fun with. Now, the problem with that is, of course, is that over time, this game, as content has been released for it, DLCs and stuff like that, one of the problems with this game is the large number of bugs that keep appearing in the game, keep popping up every time the developers add something new or try to change something. It seems like they're in this horrible cycle where every time they try to make a positive change to the game, they create a whole load of bad things in the game as well. And if you go over to their Steam forum now, because I play the game obviously on PC, if you go over to their Steam forum, there's a lot of bug reports at the moment. If you go to their bug reports thread, there's literally over like 7,000 bug reports for this game. And, you know, we're not getting prompt and speedy fixes. In actual fact, one of their most recent updates to the game, which added the true axis deer to this reserve. I'm currently on Park Fernando, by the way. They added the true axis deer, so they upgraded the axis deer to have the true rack antler system. And of course, they broke the game. Pretty much all the axis deer are now diamonds. And what's funny about this, or what I find funny about this, is that they then released a statement on their social media saying, yep, we realise we've done messed up. We're going to try and fix it. However, don't expect to fix anytime soon, because we have potential that if we try to change it, we're going to break other animals within the game, and that would be bad. So we estimate there might be a fix to the true axis deer coming in about December. But then fast forward that a few days, they then post out on social media that they're going to be adding new content to the game. On Tuesday, they're going to be adding new stuff to the game. They're going to be introducing European hare to the Hirschfelder map. They're going to be introducing new clothing because they've signed a deal with a real-life hunter and a company that produces hunting clothing. And I think to myself, hang on a minute. You've just said you've broke the game and your game has fundamentally got a big issue in it, but you're not going to focus on fixing that. But you are going to focus on adding new stuff to the game first, and getting your new content in the game and getting your new cash grab. This is what I have a bit of an issue with Call of the Wild. But that's not the issue that I'm really here to talk about today. The issue I'm here to talk about today is the fact that I have recently received a Steam ban from their community hub by one of their volunteer forum moderators. And I need to stress straight away, right now at the beginning of this little rant that the volunteer forum moderators are not employees of Expansive Worlds or Avalanche Studios. They're not developers who are making the game. They are literally just volunteers, people plucked from the community to manage and moderate their forums. They have no actual real connection. They're not paid. They're not employees. And as a result of that, I feel perhaps the moderators are maybe a little bit out of touch with the company's attitude and stance and message towards certain things. I also feel that the moderators, or the moderator, certainly the one in question, the specific one that I'm going to be talking about, the specific moderator has maybe lets his own personal feelings on certain issues, on certain things, impact his decision-making process. So, what happened? The other day, obviously, I was on my PC, browsing around, checking out many different sites. One of the things I went to Nexus Mods, which is obviously a well-known website for anyone who plays PC games, which basically holds and stores thousands of user-made mods, content, DLC, whatever you want to call it, for many, 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 many numbers of games on PC. Because on PC, one of the main attractions to playing games on PC is your ability to modify them. You can mod them. You can create your own content, put in the game for you to expand and increase your enjoyment of the game. And, you know, any game on PC, if it's been on PC for a number of years, will probably start to receive mods from the fan base, from the community, from the players to, you know, bring changes to the game. All the popular the big popular games on PC have mod support and have mods and allow players to create content and share it amongst themselves. And although no tools have been officially released by the Call of the Wild devs, and although the devs don't, you know, officially support modding, mods have started to appear for Call of the Wild. And when mods started to appear from Call of the Wild, obviously, people started asking questions over the legality of using mods in the game. And there was a period of time where during the developers' live streams over on their Twitch channel, whenever they did their Call of the Wild streams on a Tuesday afternoon, where they would play the game and talk about what was coming to the game, what new stuff, what they were changing in the game and things like that. One of the things they did in a couple of these streams, and it wasn't just one stream, it was over several streams, the devs said and stated that they from a technical support point of view, they don't support mods. So if you have installed mods in your game and you have issues with your game and you contact them for help or assistance, they're not going to give you support, which is fully fine. Most companies will do that. Most game companies will tell you if you are using mods and you have a problem with your game, the first thing you need to do is remove the mods. Remove the mods, reinstall your game. If you're still having problems, then they'll talk to you. But whilst you have mods installed and active, they're not going to entertain giving you support. But they also stressed that whilst they are aware of mods coming out, people are releasing mods and new content, they did want to stress that they would never ever ban a player for using mods in their game because it is primarily a single player game with no competitive element. People are not getting any real world rewards or prizes for what they do or achieve from playing this game. So from that standpoint, They said they have no issue with people using mods, but if they run into any technical issues or technical problems, they will not offer anybody any technical support. So their stance was quite clear. This is the people who make the game. The actual company that make and sell the game were quite clear that if you download and play with mods, you will not be banned. You know, they are not going to ban you from playing the game. They don't have any problem with people making and using mods, providing that if they break their game, they don't then go to, obviously, the developers and try to ask for help fixing the game. So that's fine, and that's a perfectly good statement. The problem with that is the moderators on their forums don't seem to understand that. They don't seem to accept that decision, because basically, if you go onto their Steam forum and you talk about mods, or you start a discussion about a mod or any of the mods for the game, or in a conversation with somebody you reveal information, or you post some information about the game that could only have been, if you like, gleaned or discovered from using mods, the forum moderator, or certainly one of the forum moderators, believes you are cheating. You are cheating, you are breaking Steam's terms of service, and therefore you get banned. And he hits you with the ban hammer. And that's the problem, because it's not. Modding is not cheating. Developing and releasing content to expand and improve games is not cheating. It's modding. If, however, you were doing things like using cheat engine to hack into the game and give give your player, like, 200, like we have seen people cheat in the game in the past. We've seen people who have been able to fly around the map, been able to travel at ridiculous speeds, and run at like 200 miles an hour. Things like that, yes, are cheats. That is cheating. And that is the same in any game. If you're using things like cheat engine or other hacking tools, then yes, that's cheating. And that probably is against the Steam terms of service. But that would only be against the Steam terms of service if you were hacking and cheating and discussing hacking and cheating in games with a competitive element. Games like CSGO, games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, things like that. Games which are primarily multiplayer based and are competitive, where there are real consequences to winning and losing in those types of games, because there are real world prizes and rewards on offer for doing so. If you are using, cheat engine or anything like that in Call of the Wild, a game like this, which is a single player game, who's it bothering apart from you, the single player that's playing the game? No one. Absolutely no one is affected if you choose to do that. So, that's the problem I have here, that this moderator firstly doesn't understand that mods are not cheats and are not cheating. They are expanding upon the game. And I'm going to give you some examples. I will give you some examples of mods in a second. Let me just grab a few need zones. I will head over to the website, shall we? Nexus Mods, and have a look at some of the most recent mods, and especially the one that I was banned for talking about. Okay, here we are then on the Nexus Mods website, and this is mods sorted by date of release, basically. So these are the last 6 mods that have released for the game. There are more, but I'm just going to focus on the last 6 mods. And I'm going to ask people to tell me which of these mods are cheats and deserve you to be banned from the game and banned from the forums. Right, we'll start with the oldest one first. Missions Reset. Missions Reset is a mod that somebody has made for Call of the Wild, which allows all the missions on all the maps, on all the reserves, to be reset and allow the players to do them, to undertake and do them all again, earning the XP, earning the cash, and leveling up their character. Is that a cheat? Because that is actually a feature in the Hunter Classic. In the Hunter Classic, if you've ever played Hunter Classic, you have an option within game to reset all the missions and do them again to earn real money, to earn basically real money that you can use to buy items in the actual game store. Items, because the Hunter Classic is totally different. Their model is completely different. All their the game is free to play, but everything that you need to play the game, weapons, ammo, clothing, etc., has to be purchased from a real store using real money. Okay, that's where Hunter Classic makes its money. All the microtransactions. But in that game, you can do missions to earn in-game money, which you can spend on buying things. Obviously, the prices of things using in-game money are very expensive. You know, you're talking like $80,000 for a basic 243 rifle, which will take you a long time to earn doing the in-game missions. But the game gives you the options of resetting those missions. You can reset all the missions, do them again, re-earn all the rewards and all the items. Somebody's made a mod for that, of that for Call of the Wild, because the only way you can get to replay any missions in Call of the Wild currently is to delete your save game and your profile and start again. And I understand some people don't want to keep deleting their level 60 characters every time they just want to run through a map, doing missions, hunting, you know, specific animals. Because again, some of the missions in Call of the Wild give you, you know, very rare, you know, give you animals. There are some very specific mission animals that only appear when you do those missions. And some people now, because of trophy lodges, want to be able to go back and harvest those animals to put them in a trophy lodge. Makes perfect sense. This mod lets them do that. Is it a cheat? Probably not, I don't think. I think that's an expansion of gameplay. That gives somebody who, maybe like me, who's put 500 hours in this game, gives them a chance to replay the game without necessarily having to delete their whole character and save game and start again from zero. The next mod is the Call of the Wild Animal Population Reset. Most people are probably aware at this point on PC, if you go into your save game folder, your My Documents folder, in your save game folder, there will be a bunch of animal population files that are tied into the different reserves, which hold all the data for all the animals on your particular maps. And this data can get messed up. It can get messed up, it can get screwed up, much like we've seen when the developers updated the Axis deer. They have completely messed up the animal population file on the Park Fernando map, and they've messed up all the Axis deer. So this is basically a mod which you can use to periodically reset your animal population file, wipe out all the animals on the map, and have the game make new ones. So if you have had an issue where a developer update has screwed up a particular animal species or, you know, a particular map, you can reset that using this mod. Now, most people would reset the animal population by going into their documents folder and deleting files manually. That can be quite dangerous. This mod allows you to do it from within game without, you know, deleting any files. So much safer way of doing your animal population reset, as well as removing hunting pressure from a map, which sometimes is very useful to do if you've been on, like if you've opened up a map to multiplayer and you've had a bunch of your friends come in on your map and they've been blasting animals all over the map. The last thing you want when you come then to hunt the map in single player is have your map covered with hunting pressure all over the place, blocking out all your need zones and everything. So this is a great little mod for fixing that issue. Is it a cheat? Again, no, I don't consider this a cheat because we've always been able to reset our animal population files, but this is kind of a safer way of doing it. The next mod is Through My Eyes. This is like basically for anybody who's played like games like Skyrim, Fallout, other games, there's lots of games where you can use like ENBs or reshades, which change the overall look and graphical feel of a game, give it different, change the colours of your world, give it a more natural feel. I mean, Call of the Wild already looks like a good game, but what people can do with like reshade and things like that is make it even more photorealistic, for lack of a better word. At the expense of it does cost some performance. You will get lower frame rates and stuff using a reshade mod like this. One that changes the vibrancy of the world and the trees and the foliage and stuff like that, and makes everything look a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more lushful, but more beautiful, which is what this mod aims to do. Again, I don't consider that a cheat. I consider that a graphical overlay, a graphical overhaul. Many games allow you to alter textures and run EMBs and stuff. You know, again, the only downside and danger from doing that is it's going to cause your computer to have to work a little harder to render the higher resolution textures and the different graphical and lighting effects. If you're on a beastly computer, doesn't make a difference. If you're on a potato, some of these reshade mods and stuff can be quite performance heavy and quite impactful. Again, don't consider that a cheat. We've got a couple of weaponry textures. One of the things as well, some of the mods we've seen come out for this game is retextures and reskins of the in-game guns. People are releasing mods which give you basically different looks to the guns, because again, when you've been playing Call of the Wild for many hours, the guns, you know, start to look a bit naff, you know. You kind of get bored of looking at the same guns. And although Call of the Wild do a good job of giving maybe, you know, 3 or 4 different variants of every gun with different, you know, a different look and style, there's still not a lot on offer. There's not a lot of customizability for players to customize and individualize their own weapons in the game. So people are basically making skins now to retexture their own guns and rifles and stuff how they want them to look. And again, I don't consider that a cheat. There's nothing about this that alters the way the weapons perform. You know, it's just a visual thing that makes a player's weapon unique to them. They can have their own skin. They can have the gun painted up and decorated up how they want it to be, you know, and people are making those skins available. Again, I don't consider that a cheat. And then we come on to this last one. Now, this is the one that I got banned for talking about, or more importantly, more specifically, I got banned for talking about the information you can learn from using this animal population scanner tool. Now, firstly, I don't consider that a cheat. Certainly, compared to I mean, and this is the funny thing, folks. When you go to the Call of the Wild forums and you go to their community hub and you go to their guide section, you will find hundreds and hundreds of people posting spreadsheets, image files. There's even a couple of applications, a couple of little programs you can download which all have information that people have put together telling you where exactly animals will appear on a map, where their need zones are, what times they will be in specific locations on a map, what level an animal needs to be a bronze, silver, diamond, you know, what weapon and ammo you should use to harvest those animals. You know, there's hundreds and hundreds of these trophy calculators and spreadsheets all over the guides and forums, which I think give players far more information that they can actually use in-game to affect their hunts and affect what animals they harvest. You know, the tool I was using does not. Okay, on screen now we have the animal population scanner, and basically what this program does, it lets a user basically read the data from within their population files within their game. So if we go into, we want to open up, so if, for example, we want to have a look at Hirschfelden, and we want to look at the information that our Hirschfelden animal population file contains. There is the animal population file for Hirschfelden, animal population 0, which if we go to the Avalanche folder, go into your My Documents, Avalanche Studios, Call of the Wild, saves, you go into this long number here, there's all your population files. So there's your, basically your map files. This tool basically lets you read them. So we'll double click that, and that opens up this, and basically gives you some information. The big one is it tells you how many animals in total you have on the map. Very useful tool for a lot of players who go into the game, load up a map, spend a couple of hours wandering around the map and go, well, this is a bit crap. I haven't seen a single animal. Are there any animals on my map? Well, this is a great tool to be able to tell you if you have animals on your map. And on my Hirschfelden map, I have 2,591 animals. Okay, reasonable number. Maybe feels a tad low when you're playing the reserve, because I have often complained when I've played on Hirschfelden that I'm not seeing any animals. And then it gives you a bit of a breakdown as well. So of that 2,591 animals, somewhere on the map there are 214 diamonds, there are 279 golds, and there are 828 silvers. Nice information to know. Again, lets a player have a look and think, actually, if I'm going to go and load up the game in 10 minutes, and in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to spend a couple of hours hunting, I might fancy coming to Hirschfelden because I know I've got some idea of what is on the map. Nowhere in this program, nowhere does it give you locations. It's not going to tell you, this program cannot tell you where those 214 diamonds are on your map. Doesn't have the scope. What it does do is give you a breakdown then of every single species. So of this total animal population, it is able to tell you that in the wild boar, for example, we have 376 wild boar, 131 males, 245 females, and again, it tells you that there's 18 diamonds, 21 golds, 240 silvers. It also tells you that there are several groups, and it tells you how many animals are in those groups. So you can see as well how the animals are spawning. The wild boar seemingly spawn in groups, and they seem to spawn in groups of 4 to 7 animals. Very nice. There are also some loners. These are like the random one-off animals you'll find wandering around the map, and it keeps account of those separately. But you can basically click through and you can see how many animals of each type you have on your map. Again, if a player is going to go out and hunt specific animals, or wants to go out and hunt a specific type of animal, this tool is going to give the player the information that, for example, if I want to hunt red deer in the game, Hirschfelden is probably a good map for me to hunt red deer on, compared to, say, maybe Quattro Colinas or Park Fernando, you know, because I currently have 544 red deer on my Hirschfelden map. The chances of me being able to find, shoot, harvest a red deer are probably higher on Hirschfelden than any other map currently in my save games. Obviously, this tool will also allow you to see issues, and we'll load up Park Fernando because obviously true racks is a big thing at the minute. The true axis deer. So as you can see on Park Fernando, we have 2,746 animals. I will show you, which seems to be, most of the maps tend to hover around the same population. They all tend to have about that many animals. Obviously, some maps are different. What you have to account for as well is that when you take that animal, that total number, and then you're dividing it by all the different species, obviously, if you have more species on a map, you're going to have fewer individual animals of those species. A good example of this is if you go to Medved and you pull up the Medved reserve, because Medved has the fewest number of actual species on it, yet it actually has quite a high total population file. And therefore, you've got a total animal population that's been divided by less animals, which means you can actually, Medved's quite a nice map to go and hunt things on. But like I say, back to Park Fernando, we click on Axis Deer, and here we see the problem. This is what the Call of the Wild developers were tweeting about the other day. Since introducing Axis Deer, all the true Axis Deer, all the Axis Deer have kind of spawned in at Diamond. I have 142 Diamond Axis Deer somewhere on Park Fernando. So if I was going to say to myself, you know what, I want to go and hunt a load of diamonds today, which map will I hunt on? Which map should I hunt on? This information tells me I would be stupid not to go and hunt on Park Fernando, and I would be stupid not to try and hunt Axis Deer, because there's a lot of Diamond Axis Deer in the game at the minute, which the developers aren't fixing till probably December, they said. And they're probably going to have to do a population reset to get rid of all these extra diamonds. Okay. But like I say, nowhere in this program, in this tool, does it tell me where any animal is. If I have this tool open and I load up the game, this doesn't tell me anything that I can actually use, apart from, like I say, knowing how many animals are on the map and how many animals of each species are on the map. That's the only information it gives me. That's the only thing I can deduce from this tool. It doesn't tell me where the diamonds are. It doesn't tell me where I'm going to find an animal. It doesn't tell me where I'm going to find a specific animal and be able to bag it. That's where I think Steam comes in a bit different. When you go to their forums, or should I say you go to their guides, because they give you all these flipping things here, okay, you know, which tell you what to click on and, you know, need zones, where to find animals, what times of day animals are going to be in specific places. You know, this diamond weight and score index. Here's a cheat. This to me is more of a cheat than that than animal population scanner, because it tells you exactly what weight of an animal you need to spot and find. It tells you exactly, again, where they're going to be, what weapons to use. This one's even bigger cheat, because it tells you exactly, again, need zone, what times of day they're going to be drinking, and where they're going to be drinking, and where their zones are. And then there's even, if we go down through the Call of the Wild guides, it might be a few pages back now, there's this Hunter Friend, this application you can download, which gives you all this information you can overlay onto your Call of the Wild screen that, again, it gives you all this information, where animals are, where they're going to be. This is more of a cheat because this is allowing you to actually see information in the game and use the information. Look, your moose, feeding times, drinking times, resting times. You know, it shows you, it tells you where the need zones are, so you can travel straight to a need zone and you know what time you need to set the game to find the animals at it. That is a bigger cheat. That is a much bigger cheat than this. So yes, sorry, Steve, sorry, Call of the Wild developers and Call of the Wild moderator, but you're very, very mistaken if you think this is a cheat. And discussing this break, and if you think discussing any of the information learnt from using this tool breaks Steam's terms of service, you're very much wrong. So, like for example, here we are, like I say, Medved Tiger. There's 3,814 animals on my Medved Tiger map. So that's more than Hirschfelden, more than Park Fernando, and we have less animals. So actually, I haven't really spent a lot of time hunting on Medved Tiger because I often feel, as do many people in the Call of the Wild community, that Medved is a little bit neglected. It needs a little bit of tender loving care. It could do with some updates to the map. But actually, from a hunter's standpoint, this is probably one of the better maps to go and hunt on because you've got a higher number of animals than on some of the other maps, a higher basic spawn, a higher base spawn amount, and that higher spawn amount is being consumed by less animals. So you're going to have higher populations of different animals. I also noticed my musk deer are messed up. The diamond count on musk deer are messed up. I wonder if that's a side effect of True Axis. Has that messed up the spawn rates on my musk deer? Or is everything just very high on my Medved map? Maybe Medved is a map I need to hunt on much, much more. Looking at some of these figures. But obviously the one most people are familiar with is obviously Leighton Lakes. And a lot of people wonder, why do so many people play Leighton Lakes? Well, this tool tells you why. 7,891 animals. This is the easy mode map. The chances of you finding an animal and being able to shoot an animal are so much higher on Leighton Lakes because there are way more animals on this map than any of the others in game. If we go to, let's have a look at Yukon. I can't actually look at Quattro because the guy who makes this tool doesn't actually own the DLC. So he can't actually program the scanner to read the information from the Quattro Colinas DLC. But 3,000 animals on Yukon. Okay, let's have a look at Silver Ridge Peaks then. See how many animals are on that. 5,400. So Silver Ridge Peaks has quite a high number of animals, it seems. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 species. So divide that by 9. And you start to see your individual animals start to get short-changed a bit. And obviously some animals are going to spawn more animals, not like turkeys. 772 turkeys on the map. 900 elk. Plenty of sheep. Not a lot of goats. Only 297 mountain goats. So if I was going to do a mountain goat hunt, this map probably wouldn't be worth me bothering because there aren't that many. Quite a lot of pronghorns. But yeah, I don't consider. Honestly, people, let me know what you think. Do you consider this a cheat, or do you just consider this to be a tool that gives players a little bit of information to help them plan and prepare a future hunt in their single player game? Like if I was about to load up the game and play it, this tool would help me decide which map I'm going to play on for that session, what animals I'm going to hunt for that session, and therefore I can make sure that when I load into game, the first thing I can do is I can change my loadout to make sure I am equipped to hunt and deal with the animals that I'm going to be hunting. It's a bit of a time saver, I think. There's nothing worse than loading up the game, loading up a map, and spending a couple of hours walking around, not finding anything. That's very boring. So if this tool can actually allow people to organise their hunts better and be more efficient than when they are out hunting, because they're actually finding animals, they're harvesting animals, therefore they're leveling up quicker, they're unlocking items in their game faster. So be it. That's great. That's what we want. We want players to have fun in their games, because video games ultimately are supposed to be fun, people. It's why we play video games. We play video games to have fun and to escape from all the real world stuff, which often is quite depressing and upsetting and troubling, especially with, you know, everything that's happening in 2020, which we're not going to go into in this video. But again, the problem I have is that I think it's very unfair if moderators on Steam, community volunteer moderators that aren't employees of the game, are banning people from the game because people are starting to, you know, explore their own game, change stuff in their game, mod their own game. We're on PC at the end of the day. PC platform, you have, if you're a PC game developer, you have to accept people are going to mod, okay? If you come into a PC game with a console player mentality that, oh, you're not, we don't have modding on consoles, so therefore if you do it on PC, that's bad. No. Why punish people for buying a game on a specific platform which allows them to do more with their products, to do more with their games? You know, why should I be punished for buying this game on PC? Because I want to be able to mod the game. I want to be able to add new stuff to the game. I want to be able to find workarounds and fixes for problems in the game that the developers keep making. And that's what some of the mods do. Some of the mods actually give you fixes for problems that have been created by the developers that have not been fixed in ages. Because again, you go back to the Steam forum, you know, you go back to the Steam forums, you go back to their discussion, and like I say, I'll pull this up. I'm not afraid to show it to people. 7,735 bugs have been reported. 7,735 issues. When is somebody from the company going to go through this and actually fix them and then remove? When is this number actually going to start to go down? When is that going to start to go down as things get fixed? Or is this just going to keep growing forever and ever and ever? We're going to hit 10,000 soon, and basically the message that sends out is we're not going to fix anything. We're just going to keep chucking new content at you. We're just going to keep getting you to pay more for new things, but we're not going to fix anything. At what point does that reach unsustainability, where people are just going to go, you know what? I'm not going to buy anything more for this game because they're not fixing what's already there. And this game has been out since when? Let's have a look on the store page. When was it first out? 2017. So the game's been out 3 years currently, and I've owned it since release, basically. I've only played 500 hours. Yes, I know. I've only played 500 hours. But that's because I come from a part of the world where there isn't real life hunting. I know this game is more popular with American audiences and in other part of the world where they have a actual real life hunting kind of situation going on. Where I live, in England, we don't have a lot of real life hunting that you can do. So it's a game that I kind of jump in every now and then, and I play for a few hours, and then I go away for a couple of months. I don't touch it. I come back, see what's changed, see what's different, and most of the time, it's got worse. Because every time they release an update or a fix, they break stuff. And like I say, I will show you the post if I can find it. And again, it was actually posted by the moderator, who's the guy that banned me, who's the idiot. The message to our community. This is the best one. We are aware of the current Axis deer spawning issues and are working on fixing the spawn rates. Unfortunately, the fix is going to take longer than we initially thought. As it stands now, it likely won't be fixed for several weeks, possibly into as late as December. And this was posted in October, by the way. So, turns out that this is an issue with one of our systems involving scoring for all animals. And again, this is why I think musk deer are also affected. And currently the risk of messing it up for the entire game is simply too high. This sadly means we need to take the time to test this thoroughly and make sure the scoring in the entire game is not impacted. We truly appreciate the loyalty many of you have for our game, and we too are disappointed it will take this long. More details to follow. The problem I have with that, and a statement like that, is, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine if you are focusing all your time between that statement and releasing the fix. However, as we know, that's not the case. You go to their Twitter and you can see that they are actually working on adding these new skins, where they've partnered up with Remy Warren, a real-life hunter, and Under Armour to be able to offer new in-game clothing items for your character, which you can't see actually in-game because there is no third-person camera there. So I don't know how they're recording this footage, but you can't see that as a player in-game. So yes, so they're working on this, and of course they're also working on the European rabbits, which are coming out on November 10th. So, I'm just saying that when you release a community message saying, we realise we've messed up our game, we realise we've broken the game, we are working on a fix, please bear with us and be patient with us, it's going to take a while to come out. The only reason that fix is going to take a while to come out is because you're working on other stuff first. You know, I would put things like this on the back burner. Things like European rabbits, things like Remy Warren. Put that to one side. Focus on fixing the bugs first, people. You know? And this is what I would be saying on their forums right now if I wasn't banned. Because that is what needs to happen. But anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I'm sorry it's had to take the direction that it has, but you know, unfortunately, when they silence you from being able to post within their community, the only way to get the message and get your comments out then is by doing these videos. And unfortunately for the moderator, he's never going to be able to silence me on YouTube or Twitch. He's never going to be able to change what I talk about and discuss on YouTube and Twitch. He may have banned me from the Steam. He may have banned me from Steam. But ultimately, I can always get my words out there to the community, to the audience, to the world, on different platforms that he has absolutely zero control over. So, Pixel, if you by happen to any chance see this video, get a grip, mate. Get a life. Like I say, your Twitch ban, I have actually appealed. I'm actually going through the appeal process with Steam to sort that out, because I do feel there is a massive disconnect between what the moderator believes is cheating and what is not. I also have checked their community, their community guidelines, and there is absolutely nothing in the board rules which state players can't discuss mods, players can't discuss user content. There's nothing in there of that nature. And if we go to Steam's rules and guidelines, like I say, we are not discussing cracks, we're not discussing generators, we're not discussing console emulators, we're not discussing cheating, hacking, or any game exploits. No, we're not. None of these are cheats, hacks, or game exploits. Okay, these are just useful tools that allow players to have more fun with their game. The ability to reset missions, the ability to reset population files, the ability to change the appearance of your weapons, the ability to check to see if your game is broken and your maps are broken, and whether or not... I mean, the animal population scanner tool by itself doesn't do a lot. Couple that with with the population reset tool, those two probably work very well hand in hand, because when you use this tool to find out you have a broken map, you can then use this tool to try and fix that. Okay? There we go, folks. That's the end of this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop me a like. I will see you all again very soon. Goodbye for now.